Hi guys, it's Sweet Tooth here. Today I'm going to bring you a video about OCD, which is called Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. And now hopefully you can see me. For some reason on the blackboard there's not a lot of room to move here, so you'll have to excuse me. So if my head gets in the way of the camera, try and just forgive that for a minute. Right, so this is a video that a lot of people have been asking about. They've been asking me to do, so I thought, right, I'm going to get on and do that. Now, there's not a lot of battery in my camera because I've been putting comments up and one thing or another. I will get it fully charged after this video, so bear with me, alright? I've got my notes here. So let's start off with OCD. So, the first thing that I've got to bring up with OCD, that it is not a disease. It's not something that you're going to find afflicts everybody, but it is a problem. So we'll start off with OCD and then the reasons, alright? Okay, so can you see that alright? The reasons are probably due to, and there's a couple of things I was reading on about, probably a trauma, probably something that's been in your life that has sparked it off. Could have been trauma, could have been a bad childhood, it could have been a bad relationship, it could have been a lot of things. But what's happened with you guys is what's happened with myself is when I was a child, I got a lot of abuse from my father, and a lot of mental abuse and physical abuse, and that's what started off my OCD at that particular time. I'm not saying that's for everybody, but that's what happened to me. And I noticed just before I was going to get my good talking to or a good smack that I had to adjust pictures before that incident happened, and that only started when I was about 7. So let's put on trauma, or let's forget that. Just stress. All right. So you're starting off here with stress. Okay. So now we've got the reasons why. Probably it could have been stress. It could have been anything. But I'm just going about what's happened to me as I related to my mental illness. Basically, there's two sides to people. You know, there's the one that people see, and there's the OCD side. Alright, now, having OCD is a good thing because obviously you're a clean, tidy person, but the other side of it is that it will dominate your life. So, you've got, let's say, the reasons you were in what they call as a cycle. So this is why we're going to do this. Alright. That's the stress and that's the OCD. Alright, there's the OCD there. Alright, guy with a miserable face. You're starting here and your day begins where things have to be in the right particular place, in the right order, or you have to do things in a certain way, and that's part of it. It's basically a challenge. Like I say, it's a challenge to try and break this. Now my views on OCD, I used to be terrible where if I saw anything I'd have to jump up straight away, and I had to straighten up the lampshades, I had to move a certain item, the curtains had to be perfectly dropped. And it does rule people's lives to the point where you can't enjoy life because you're so busy altering things, alright? So we will call this bit, let's say the day, alright? So the OCD, you get up, OCD kicks in. It could be something silly, it could be like you've made your bed and the pillows aren't in the particular correct order, or the duvet isn't set out right. So this is what I'm saying about it. then that drains your energy. Then your energy levels, all right, drop because your adrenaline's rising, because you're worried and you're stressed. So then your energy levels will then take a tumble because you're worried. Because you're worried that things aren't exactly the way that you want it. They're not in the perfect way. Things aren't perfect. They're not going the way that you want. Because people with OCD will have this, they will have a plan in their mind, and only they can get things the way they want. You can ask your friends, you can ask this, and I've had it myself where only I can do things in a certain way. Now I've gotten out of that cycle. For example, let's say my partner, right? She has I never trusted her to do any cleaning because I knew I could only do it properly. But now I'm like, well, yeah, crack on. And you know, I've pulled away from all that. I mean, I lived on my own for years, so that's how come I got into a way, and it was a bit of a bad habit. But now I'm like, yeah, you crack on, you take everything else out. Now I can see, I mean, I'm looking at this camera now and I can see a mark on the edge of it, but I'm not gonna just stop the video and clean it. I'm just gonna do it later on, because the more I think about it, the more it stresses me out. So anyway, we're back to this. Your OCD, then your level stresses, okay, because you're thinking about things. Alright, so let's say your mind is like, I actually thought about this last night in bed, and I kept thinking about how I could best describe it, right? And how we can try and cure it or deal with it. I'm not saying I'm the answer. I don't say there isn't really, but imagine your mind is like a shop that's open 24 hours a day, right? So you've got there's your shop, right? And it's open 24/7. Well, that's your mind, okay? There's you there. Your mind's open 24/7. You can't switch off because you're thinking about things. And if it's not OCD, it's something else and something else. So what we've got to imagine is, right, you're worried that you're going to lose a customer, or you can't switch off. So what we have to do is we have to learn to put the shutters down between you and OCD and how you feel. So, right, let's imagine this guy is something that you need to straighten up, or something that you feel you've got to do. There's you, okay? You're thinking about him, right? He's not thinking about you, but you're thinking. That glass is not going to straighten itself. It doesn't care whether it's upside down, right side, or lying on its side, but you have to have that in a particular way. So what we have to do then is imagine, right, we've got imagine a pull down blind. That is now, you've got to cancel out that, because if you can't see it, it's not as bad. People worry when they go away, have I left the iron on? When they go away on holiday, have I do this, have I do that? You can't do anything about it. You're on the road, it's done. And the only way you can switch off is just by putting that big blind down, and so you can't see this guy here. So we have to train our minds to put a screen in front of it. Alright? Now I know it's not easy when you're going around your house or your friends or whatever and you can still see that, but what you've got to do is train your mind to just go, yeah, that's an issue, I could do with tidying up, but I can do it later on, alright? I can do it later. You don't have to do it now, you can do it later. I mean, I've got some washing up there, I've got to dry up, I've got to do a bit of hoovering now, but I'm not going to make it dominate my life. I'm going to do it if I've got the energy and if I can be bothered, alright? If you start forcing yourself to have to do things, then you are going to become stressed, alright? Which leads to tiredness, alright? Because, alright, so you've sorted that problem out, but now you're stressed and tired, okay? So you've got a nice, tidy, clean house, but you're fed up, you're chewed, because the OCD has won again. Alright, so we've gone round from today's day, energy levels, because you're worried, Your mind's open 24/7, and of course you can't stop, then you're stressed out. So, alright, I'm hoping to finish this before my battery, but whatever. Because I'll do another one later on. So what we have to do is we have to take the day as it comes. You're here, alright, worrying about OCD. Yeah. There's I don't know, an object or thing. Okay. You want to change that. The only thing you can do is to try and switch off in your mind. Okay. So you've got to blank that out. Like I said, there's you. Rather than looking at that, look that way. Alright? So you're looking that way, okay, and you've got to try not looking at the object, just try and just go whatever and get on with your day. And come back to it by all means. Get the glasses you want, do this, do that, but do it later if you can. Don't let it dominate your life, because it's like I've seen people where they can't leave the drive until they know everything is perfect in the house. The towels have to be in a certain way, and this, that, and the other. That's not living. That is just total domination by OCD, and that's not what you want to break. I'm not saying it's going to change, but at the time, that object will still be there. You have to just move forward and do that later. Okay? If you can train yourself, put a big screen down like that. Just say, I know it's there. I know I want it right. I know that is only going to be done by me perfectly, and that's fine. But do it later. Don't let it come in your face, okay? Because that's what's happening. So you get on with your day, all right, and then you're going to come back to that. But that is breaking the circle by you just ignoring it, even if it's for half an hour. You're not letting OCD take over, okay? And at least that way it's a start. I mean, it's not a cure, but it's a start. And then you'll be happy, but you will be about medium. You won't be like, I wouldn't be. I'd be like, oh, I've got to do it. But I'm not going to let it dominate my life. If I'm tired, because if you're on any medication that makes you tired, I'm on 200 micrograms of sertraline. So I've now got to the stage in life where I'm like, I'll do it when I can do it. I'll do it if I can be bothered, or if I've got the energy, yeah? I'm not going to force myself to do things that I don't want to do anymore, you know what I mean? And that is another subject. That is something I'm going to bring up on. It's actually called agoraphobia. I've mentioned that before. And I'm in this position now where I'm like, I am, what did the therapist say to me the other day? I can't remember it, but I'm pushing it away, you know what I mean? I'm just not getting involved with stress. But this is another subject, because OCD is stress. Okay, so you have to try and just put a blank. You've got to try and train your mind to say, listen, I'm not going to just get on. I'm going to deal with this towels later on, and then eventually, you will pull away. I know it's hard, but eventually, and you'll be beating yourself up over it. And go, oh God, I've got to tidy up. I've got to do this. I've got to do this in a certain way before somebody else comes down. I feel the house is going to be a mess, or I feel like, oh, you know what I mean? What will people think of me with an untidy house? Well, that's just your mind, your perception, right? Most people's houses are always upside down, especially if you've got kids. Or pets. It's unavoidable. Well, hoover up within 10 minutes, there's fur everywhere, or someone's dropped some cornflakes. That's life. It's living. You can't, unless, I don't know anyone with show houses, to be honest, and it's great to be tidy, but when it becomes obsessive, then you're not living, you're not enjoying your life, yeah? I mean, I've left glasses out overnight, and you know, I'm not going to go, I picked them up, I washed them up next morning, but I'm not trying not make it done. So put a blind between you and that object, okay? I think that'll do for today, if the camera's still going. So cool. So that's it, guys. We'll see you in the next one.